Yo, yo, what's up? What's up, children of the corn? I don't know why I keep saying that. Hey, what's up, Nick? F and A, man. Hey, virtual fist bump, brother. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, how is everything going? Let me move this camera up a little bit here. Oh, I hope everyone who watches this, including yourself, Nick, I hope everyone's doing well. I'll tell you what, I'm doing fucking good, man. Shit. I have been dealing with headaches like every night. Almost every night. It actually got a little bit better the last night or two. But I think it was related to a muscle thing. So I was like, fuck. I haven't taken Advil in, probably about a year or so. And I don't like to take Advil. It's supposedly not good for you. So, but dude, I had to give in. The last couple weeks... Hey, how are you doing, something, Moose? So, yeah, I had to take some Advil. And the last couple weeks, about a week or so, I was taking Advil almost every night. So I fucking sucked it up, dude. Got a massage, man. Oh. It hurt, but it hurt so good. But it hurt my wallet a little bit, too. That part wasn't so good. But, oh, man. I've been telling people for like a week or two that I'm going to get a massage to fix this because, like I said, I just, it was messing up my sleep. I don't get a lot of sleep. So I'm like, shit, man, I don't get a lot of sleep. And I can't be waking up in the middle of the night because of a headache. I got to take care of this shit. And I don't want to be taking Advil every single day. So I resolved to get a massage. And I'll tell you what, let's see here. It was a good decision. It was a good decision. Hold on here. Actually, I say it's a good decision. I'm trying to fix the lighting. The part of my face is not, it's too dark. But, everyone needs to see how pretty I am. Anyway, we'll see if it worked. We'll also see if who knows what it is while I'm getting headaches. Hopefully I don't have a tumor. Yeah, I don't think I do. I got my dad addicted. Oh, damn, $25 for an hour? What the fuck, dude? And they go hard? They go hard. Oh, because this bitch tore me up. She ain't a bitch. She's cool, but she tore me up, dude. It was $90. It was 80. It was $80. So, shit, dude. 25? Oh my god. Dude, let me know where that is. If you want to, text it to me if you can. Oh, I'm so thankful. If this is like a serious, it's called, is there a happy ending at the end of Yaya? Because that's what it sounds like, brother. Sounds like you're sending some people to get having some good times, if you know what I'm saying. Which, sometimes that's acceptable. So, yeah, well, are they good? They're good? They get down deep in there? Yeah, if it's all men, I ain't trying to have that, So, but, damn, now I feel like I got ripped off, dude. Fuck. $25 for an hour? I could have got almost 4 massages for that price, dude. Fuck. See, my Jewish nature, I'm lazy as shit. So I don't like to look things up. And I also didn't want to, you know what? Why am I saying this, dude? I made a rational decision, right? Because I knew that this lady was good from a previous experience. I knew she was good. However, I also know that if I look online, like people that do independent massages that aren't in like a group, they charge around that amount. The only thing is that I don't know how good they are, No walking on the back, no hot stone. She was just digging in there. But send me that info, and I will, since I've got a referral, I'll go by there. But I just didn't want to take a chance on going to a shitty place, spending like $50 or $60 to somebody I didn't know, and it not being any good, So Maybe I'm just rationalizing, making a narrative, but I think it makes sense. Fuck it. Damn. Hurt the wallet a little bit though. That was good, man. If you're having issues, I recommend getting one of those, man. Get a massage. Get a massage, man. It's good shit. But Nick, you're already telling me you already do that, so yeah, that's good. That's good, man. So beyond that, man, yeah, my day's been good. I went for a run out in this awesome, so everybody should do this as well. So let me just give you my wisdom because I just have so much. There's this, have you ever heard of, it's called forest bathing or something like that, where like, basically it's supposed to be really good for people to be out in nature, but it's not just like being out in nature. It's like, being around trees and plants and shit. I mean, you're fucking grew up out in the fucking, out in the sticks, Nick, so you know what I'm talking about. But nowadays, like me, I don't know about you, I know you're working on the railroad, but like for me, I'm surrounded by like computer, like I'm staring at a phone. I've got like 2-3 computers in this bitch. I got fucking electronic lights, everything around me is fucking electromagnetic frequencies. So it's very important for someone like me and other people out there in similar positions to like just go out into the woods. And there's a really cool conservation park in Cyprus. It's been there forever, ever since I've been, old enough to drive. I've driven by there, and so that's been like 11 years. So that's that I've seen it. And I go running there now. I try to go once or twice a week, and it's just like, so basically it's pretty much untouched for like, they go through there with, it's got trails, but it's like they don't fuck around in there a bunch, and you could legit get lost in there. I almost got lost in there one time going off the path, but it's good. So I mean, man, if you are feeling anxious, I deal with anxiety. I think everybody does. And it's a good way, if you're feeling anxious sometimes, man, just go out there and just go for a run out, or just go for a walk outside. If you can go around a bunch of trees, it's even better. So, I mean, look at that. I got some meat on my hands now, bro. Look at that. I've been doing a lot of farmer's carries. Do you do those, Nick? I mean, so here's the thing. I didn't have your upbringing, right? So you grew up on the farm, like throwing bales of hay and shit, and now you do a heavy-duty job now. Me, I'm a softie. I'm a softie boy. So when I go to the gym, I have to pretend like I'm in a hard environment. So I've been switching up my weight routine to be more functional. I call it functional strength training. So like when I do heavy lift days, I do them real heavy. And one thing I love to do is farmer's carries, where like you just pick up as much as you can in each hand, and you just try, and you can either go for a length of time. So you could either decide I want to hold less weight, but I want to go for a longer period of time, or you could decide that you want to pick up a heavier amount of weight and go for a shorter period of time. So man, I've been doing those, and I've been doing kettlebell swings every week. I love kettlebell swings, dude. Oh, but I've been building up the meat in my hands. I mean, I got small hands, so you really can't even really tell. But for me, been building up the meat in my hands, been building up the meat in my fucking dainty little wrists. Because, dude, I got dainty hands. I got dainty wrists. But the thing is my frame is good for punching. Because, like, the longer your arms are, you can get leverage on your punches. But now, like in the past, sometimes I've hit so hard. Sometimes I hit hard enough in the past where I get like a shock that goes through my arm. Not no more, baby. Not since I've been building up the meat on these puppies. Don't fuck with me, dude. So, yeah, man, that's, I don't know if you do any of those farmer's carries. Oh, dude, Turkish get-ups is a new thing I've been doing. I love them. Look it up, dude. You would love it. You would love this shit. I know you love lifting heavy weights. So I've been really getting into that. Ooh, good question. Wrist wraps for punching or for lifting? So for punching, man, I never use wrist wraps ever. And part of that's because I'm just lazy and I've never really looked into it. I think I might have Googled it before, like, you know, if you should do it, if you should. Hey, what's going on, Denny? Talking about boxing because I'm a pro now. I don't wrap my wrists when I punch, and I don't really know if there's a problem with that. You know, when I've looked it up in the past, I just didn't see anything that was really convincing. You know what I'm saying? So I know boxers. One reason boxers do it is because it makes your punches harder, right? So whenever you wrap your wrists, and you probably know this, but anyone else who's listening, if you don't know this, when you wrap your wrists and stuff, you basically turn your this kind of flimsy deal right here. You almost make it into not a stick, but you really reinforce it. So whenever you're throwing punches, your wrist isn't moving, right? So I guess when you do that, you mitigate the potential damage to your wrists. But I don't, since I'm not like a boxer and I don't spend a whole lot of time on a weekly basis just punching the bag, I don't worry about it. And also for somebody like me that's not my sport, and I'm not too worried about injuring my wrists, I actually think it could be beneficial to not use the wrist wraps, because I feel as though with anything, the more you brace yourself, the less your body's working. Whatever you're bracing yourself with, that part of your body's working a little less, right? So if I'm wrapping up my wrists, then all the muscles in the wrists and the hands are not having to work as hard. And so that probably has a little bit of an effect on your strength outside of the gym, outside of boxing or punching the bag. But it could possibly mitigate damage when you're hitting. So there's pros and cons, I'm sure. And then boxers, like I said, you got to remember, I mean, these guys are going hard in the paint, dude. So they're going hard in the paint, mofo. So maybe it's different for them. Yeah. Same on lifting dumbbells, protects your form, but yeah. So that's exactly same thing. Yeah. So when I'm lifting, I see people lifting real heavy weights, and I know some power lifters do that as well. I don't use any wraps, partially because this is just me. For myself, I feel as though I'm gonna push myself as far as I can go without the wraps, without any brace or anything like that. And for me, I know I don't get form right all the time, so sometimes I have to go back and correct my form. Like on deadlifts, I had to go back a month or two ago and kind of redo some of my form on my deadlifts, because I don't wear one of those braces around my midsection either. I lean towards, my bias is towards no wrap or no brace if you can do it. The reason I prefer that is because it trains your stabilizing muscles, and I just feel like, for me, I'm all about the functional shit. Right now, right? Maybe in 5 years I won't give a shit. But right now, I'm more about functional. So my thought process is, if I'm out doing things in real life, I'm not going to have a brace on. I'm not going to have all that shit. So even though I know the gym is a very artificial environment, I would like to train myself to be as functional as possible. So the less assistance I get from a brace, either around my wrist or any other part of my body, I feel like is better for me, because then, if I gotta throw somebody or get in a match where I'm wrestling somebody around, I would rather have all those stabilizer muscles be able to engage, and be trained to deal with heavy loads and maybe random shocks and events that might happen. So that's why I do that. But also, like I said, I've seen some of the powerlifters I follow. They got the wrist wraps on, but also I'm not taking it to that level either. So I'm not. I lift heavy for my size. For my size and my frame, I lift heavy, but I'm not putting up like 400 pounds on the bench press, because then I might need to. It might not be a good idea for me to not wear wrist wraps. I might need to do that at that point. But we'll see. We'll see if my opinion on that changes in the future. But right now, the weight that I'm at and the weight that I'm pushing, even though it's heavy for my size, I just prefer to work on the stabilizer muscles a lot. And also, I don't know about you, Nick, but I love pulling exercises. I'm not real big right now into bench press, chest press. I do it, but bench 205, that would take nothing. You probably bench like 300 pounds. But I love like deadlifts. I love like I was talking about, farmers carries. There's a couple variations of other exercises I just love doing, but my favorite shit is pulling exercises. That's where I get. That's my strongest suit. That's my strongest shit. So, but yeah, that's my opinion on that, man. Shit. Thanks for asking that question. I love that shit, man. I love it. So yeah, if you don't have any other question, and feel free to chime in anytime you want. What I was going to get at here was today I went on a little, trying to think about things to talk about, and I did an audio podcast earlier, and I got so fucking pissed thinking about the politics of shit. So I'm like, I'm not going to talk about that today. I hate it. And it reminded me of a guy named Naval, who I follow on Twitter. Brilliant dude. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast. And he talked about how if you follow politics too much, you can't think clearly. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Stop thinking about politics. So, because I'm usually pretty good about that lately. I mostly focus on, I read the headlines, I stay in touch, but I try not to get too deep into it. Hence why I'm goofing around half the time on this thing. But today, I read an awesome quote from Naval, and it was talking about preparing for the future, like preparing for the next 20 years. And it just reminded me of the kind of talk about when people always try to anticipate the future, right? Like when I was in college, and now everybody's like, oh, you need to train yourself how to code, or you need to train yourself how to, be prepared. People are always, pushing, their sons and their daughters or themselves into professions, not necessarily because they're good at them or because they enjoy them, but because they think that there's money down the line. And that is, that has to do with the prediction, right? Like you believe that this industry is going to be doing well in the future. Now, some industries are what we call Lindy, which means they've been around for a long time, and the longer they've been around, the longer they're likely going to be around. And for whatever reason, that could be. And so, that would be things like doctors, lawyers, those kind of, doctors, lawyers, dentists, those kind of professions are kind of tried and true. They could disappear one day, but they've been around forever. And they just don't seem like they're going away, right? Even when technology changes. But they could. And so this guy's advice was to prepare for the next 20 years that you have to pursue. Actually, let me pull it up here. You basically have to pursue a combination of, and it's not just him. Hold on here. Naval. Where is Naval? Here we go. Let me pull this up here. It's good stuff. It's nothing too mind-blowing, but it's good stuff. I enjoy it. I always enjoy him. Let's see here. He says, or somebody quoted him. Oh, come on, dude. Man, I can't find it now. Anyway, it had to do with whenever you are trying to prepare yourself for the next 20 years. It had to do, the general gist of it was, since I'm going to butcher this, hold on, let me check. It was essentially that you have to pursue things that you're interested in doing, and that you will build up a brand. You can build up a brand around those kinds of things. And now I'm kind of paraphrased it, probably butchered it, but it reminded me of something I also hear from a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, who is an entrepreneur in the social media space. I love listening to his stuff. If you ever heard of him, Nick, his name's Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V. He's an interesting fellow, really good stuff. And he always talks about how if one reason why people need to pursue things that they are passionate about is because, not necessarily because it'll make you rich. You might not ever get rich off of pursuing what you love, but it's the only way that you're going to persist through the hard times, right? Now, don't get me wrong, like if you have a family, you'll pretty much persist through whatever you need to do. But for like just somebody who, if you know you can get by, but you feel like you're missing a lot in your life and you're just like, fuck, what do I want to do? What, at least what Gary Vee would recommend, and then Naval talking about preparing for the future, is basically invest in the things that you enjoy doing. And I don't know, I really like that advice. For one, I'm not like on the verge of death, so I'm not on the verge of poverty, so I can afford to do things I like to do. And but what I like about that is that if you follow the things you really like to do, one, you just feel better, right? Like for me, myself, man, when I am doing shit that I like to do, whether it be, martial arts, whether it be studying Mandarin, or whether it be like going out, like I go out dancing every weekend, and absolutely love it. And the thing is, though, I pursue those things regardless. Now, I could build a brand around that, like a personal brand, right? So like people know me as the guy who does this, and maybe sometime in the future I could use that to bring value to people and make money off of it that way. But the thing is, what I really like about it is that one thing I really like about people that are advocating your passions, right? I've heard it from multiple people now. One, Nassim Taleb recommend, he talks about it, right? Gary Vee talks about it. Naval talks about it. Many people talk about it. Very successful people talk about how you should be able to pursue your interests and passions, and it doesn't fucking matter where it goes, right? So like you don't need to worry about like, oh, am I gonna make money off of it? Just do it. Just do things that you like to do. And what's interesting is that when you do that, over time, you build what Naval calls specific knowledge. So specific knowledge is more or less your specific understanding or knowledge of the set different things that you know. Like you might know various amounts of things across different domains, right? Like I know a lot about ITF Taekwondo, and I know some about like I said, I know certain things. I know a little bit about certain things. I know more about other things. And if I just pursue those interests over time, there may be a day where some things overlap. Here's the thing. I don't know when that's going to happen. And I don't know if that will ever happen. But who knows? Right? Wasn't that a great climax? Who knows? The bottom line is, nobody knows what the future holds. I guess that's what my thing is. Nobody knows what the future holds. I could study my ass off in a particular subject, become an expert, and in 5 years nobody gives a shit, right? Or I can pursue my passions as long as I make sure I'm feeding myself, and if I have a family, feeding my family, pursue my passions, build up skill sets in the things that I love, and then over time, one day, that stuff might come together, and I'll have a specific knowledge set that I can use to leverage in the real world for money, right? But that's not the goal. The goal isn't money. The goal is just to fucking live, right? And so that's really helped me with some perspective. And maybe it'll help, some other people out there too, is don't be afraid to just do shit you like to do. And don't even worry about the monetary return on it, right? Of course, you got to work hard and you got to save money and don't be an idiot. Sometimes I fail in those basic principles. But I really like that advice because it's nice to hear because, Gary Vee, I love listening to Gary Vee. But sometimes he's too much of a grind. He's like, you just got to work. And then, that's what he loves doing. Like, he just loves fucking working. So that's a different thing. But if you haven't found something that you love to do, I love hearing the advice from other very successful entrepreneurs and, investors, entrepreneurs, people who have made a lot of money in business. Say, listen, no matter what, you still got to do things you want to do. It's good, man. I like it. I fucking like it. So, if you don't have anything that you want to add or any questions, let me know. Right now, I'm going to move on to China real quick. So, if anybody who listens to this knows, first let me do a hair check. It wouldn't be a Taylor pod without me fucking with my hair. And I think it looks good today, I would say. It's feeling soft. And the lady that gave me the massage kind of put a little bit of oil in there, and it feels good. So I like it. So, China. What's going on with China? A lot of people might have heard that their currency was devalued. On Monday, there was a substantial devaluation, sort of, right? Like they were trading around $6 and some in change against $1, and then it bumped down to over $7 per US dollar. For anybody out there, it's a fairly significant move for a country that peg their currency to the US dollar. And there's a lot of questions as to what is going on with China. So I'm not an expert on China's financial system, though I am trying to learn. And it looks like they might be having a legitimate crisis. So the research. So I have been grown up in a world where I was taught and believed that China's manipulated their currency down, and that they tried to keep it cheap, so that way, basically, the cheaper their currency is, the cheaper it is for us to buy their shit. So the idea was that they would keep their currency devalued, so that way other countries, like mostly the US, are kind of financially forced to buy shit from them. However, from the stuff that I've been reading about recently, it's the other way. And it looks like they've been propping up their currency against the dollar for a while now. And there's a lot of shit going on with China and their currency, man. It's so interesting. It's so interesting. They have a dual currency system. They have an onshore currency. They have an offshore currency, which would be like, it's very difficult to explain. And if anyone's going to watch this, if they don't already fucking know, they're just not going to know. So anyway, they have an interesting currency system. People should look into it. Regardless, though, people around the world need US dollars to buy shit. So countries and companies, when they want to buy oil, when they want to buy corn, and they want to buy soy and plastic or whatever the fuck raw materials they need, they buy those in dollars. So even though the Chinese have their own currency, a lot of times they have to swap their currency for dollars to purchase the goods. Why is that? Because the country that's selling them the goods wants dollars usually. Usually they want dollars and not Chinese currency. And that's actually the case for most countries. a lot of countries, I think, I could be wrong, but a lot of countries prefer to deal in US dollars, right? Because dollars trusted. So if you're doing business with Venezuela, if you're going to sell Venezuela oil, you're going to want Venezuela to give you their currency or dollars. You're going to want them to give you dollars. So Venezuela is going to need to go to the open market, exchange their piece of shit currency for dollars, give you the dollars, then you can sell them their currency. I mean, their oil, whatever the fuck. So China needs US dollars to operate, mostly. And apparently, it looks like they're running low on US dollars. I don't know this for a fact. This is the analysis that I'm following. It looks like Hong Kong is running out of US dollars, and it looks like China is running low on US dollars. So, what does that mean? For China to maintain a higher currency of like $6 per US, then they need to be able to sell US dollars and buy their own currency. That makes the demand for their currency go up and the supply of our currency go up. And then when the supply increases, the price goes down. And when the supply of RMB goes down because they're buying their own currency back with US dollars, it makes the price of their currency go up. So that's how they can control the price of their currency. Roughly speaking, this is some rough shit here. I'm not getting into everything. And so basically, it looks like the Chinese are running out of dollars that they need to exchange to make their currency, one, go against the US dollar, and two, they need US dollars to buy shit. So it looks like their financial system's getting kind of weak. I don't really know exactly what's going on, but that's what I've heard. And it's really interesting. It's fascinating. I do a lot of business with the Chinese, and I'm a little worried. I might not get paid, but still interesting. So, yeah, that's what's going on in the world, man. And I don't know why I have so much energy right now. I got to go to bed in like 45 minutes. But also, Nick, you asked about melatonin, or you said something about melatonin a while back ago. I totally forgot. Yesterday, dude, I took, one reason why I was so dead tired, I took 20 milligrams of melatonin. Oh, dude, that shit works, bro. I forgot how strong that shit was. You don't need to take that much. Maybe like start off with like 5. But I took 20 milligrams, and I was like, So, dude, if you want to knock your shit out because you have a weird schedule like I do, hey, man, just if you're not taking that Gorilla Dream, which you should, try it out. Try it out, man. You could even take the Gorilla Dream and then take an additional like 5 milligrams of melatonin to help you go to sleep, and it'll be good, dude. It'll be good. Trust me. So, I don't know, man. That's all I got to say for today, dude. I think I should get something on my background here. Good. All right, man. That's it. And anybody else who watches this, I hope you enjoy. I'm having a good hair day today, which is good. And of course, you know, my guns are gigantic. So, all right. So that's it, man. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.